Hello everyone, welcome to Money Control, and we are back with another episode of Tech Up, a weekly show for the latest in gadgets, personal technology, AI and everything in between. Today we are taking a closer look at CMF Phone 2 Pro from London-based consumer electronics brand Nothing. And yes, this one is a rather interesting device. Or it has really some headline grabbing specs, but because it has the potential to undercut the competition with a serious hardware and a rather impressive price tag. Let's take a closer look at what it offers and where it stands in the mid-range market, especially if you are someone deciding between a Realme, a Redmi, or maybe even stretching for a OnePlus Nord. Let's begin with performance and gaming. Under the hood, the Phone 2 Pro runs on the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Pro processor, which is a 4nm chip that's tuned for more speed than battery efficiency. It has got 8 cores and peaks at 2.5 GHz and also supports 9-band dual 5G. Now, all these specs are not really earth-shattering on paper, but are enough to handle gaming and multitasking as well. For day-to-day tasks, this phone should be a smooth performer. Nothing, interestingly, is pushing the phone's gaming chops as well, as the CMF Phone 2 Pro unlocks 120 FPS gameplay on popular game BGMI with 1000 Hz touch sampling. Now that's actually a pro level response times from a phone which is priced under Rs 20,000. Throw in 16 GB of mixed RAM and expandable storage of up to 2 TB and you've got a capable workhorse for casual as well as mid-core gamers. Now if you're wondering that gaming and there might be some heating issues, Nothing has taken care of it, as it has added an advanced cooling system. That's going to matter if you end up gaming for long hours or use your phone heavily if you're traveling on a flight or a train. Now, Nothing's always had a design first approach, and CMF Phone 2 Pro follows suit, just without the glyph effects or gimmicks, whatever you might want to call, which we've seen with Nothing's regular series of phones. What you get here is a 6.77-inch FHD Plus AMOLED display with a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate. You also get 3000 nits of peak brightness. That's the brightest in this segment, and frankly, even some flagships don't go that high. The Nothing CMF Phone 2 Pro also supports Ultra HDR photos, shows about 1.07 billion colors, and has PWM dimming at 2160 Hz, which should make it more comfortable for your eyes even in low light. If you stare at your phone a lot, and let's be honest, we all are guilty of doing that, this feature certainly helps. In terms of looks, the phone is just about 7.8 mm thin and weighs around 185 grams. It is also the slimmest Nothing phone so far. There are quite a few nice hardware touches too. For example, the stainless steel screws on the back aren't just aesthetic, they are functional. It ends up giving the whole design a bit of an industrial flair. Nothing also gives some optional back accessories which you might see which do look like some modularish options. Now, cameras are something which a lot of people look at when buying a smartphone. With the CMF Phone 2 Pro, you get a triple rear camera setup. There is a 50 MP primary sensor with strong light absorption, a 50 megapixel telephoto with wide aperture, which is quite rare at this price. You also get a 119 degrees ultra wide lens for landscape shots. Excuse me. For selfies, there is a 16 megapixel front camera as well. All 4 sensors support Ultra HDR output, so dynamic range shouldn't be an issue. In short, this is not a megapixel brag per se. It's more or less a practical camera setup, especially if you are into portrait photography. That telephoto sensor might just surprise you. Nothing is known for giving a rather clean user interface for its phones. On the software side, the CMF Phone 2 Pro runs on Nothing OS 3.2, which is still one of the cleanest Android skins out there. There's no bloatware, no ads, just minimalism with a little bit of flair. There is a new Nothing Gallery app which has Google's Photos built-in editing AI features, and you can share widgets that can be sent between devices. There is a smart drawer that organizes your apps based on context, and there is also the essential space that encrypts your photos, apps and files separately, kind of a secure folder. It's basically a stock plus setup. It's a stock setup which is clean, fast and just enough added functionality to feel helpful. Battery is another crucial point which a lot of buyers look for before buying a phone. On the CMF Phone 2 Pro, it is solid, a 5000 mAh battery which is rated for 2 days of use, but on moderate to almost heavy usage, you can get at least 1.5 days. There's 33 watt fast charging which ensures that in 50 minutes that your phone is 50% charged in about 20 minutes. Now that's not record breaking, but more than acceptable at this price point. What's smart is the battery health tech which learns your charging habits and slows things down when needed to reduce long-term battery damage. Now for the clincher, the phone starts at Rs 18,999 and is available on Flipkart. I'm sorry. For that price, you're getting a sharp AMOLED display, a clean OS, a reliable and capable chip, and cameras that actually make sense. But more than that, you're getting what Nothing's now known for: design clarity and thoughtful features, not just gimmicks. If you want those glyph lights and wireless charging and whatnot, you'll still need to look at the main Nothing lineup and not the CMF. But for most users like students, casual gamers or people looking to switch from older Androids, CMF Phone 2 Pro might just hit the sweet spot. Now let's move on to our next segment, which is AI Spotlight. Google's Gemini is quickly evolving into a capable creative AI assistant, and now it features an all-new native image generation tool which marks a major step in the direction of making it more creative. With just a text prompt, users can now create original visuals directly within the Gemini app. You don't have to rely on third-party integrations or any external tools. Gemini will do the job on the basis of text prompt. Whether you're brainstorming for a project, crafting social media graphics, or just exploring ideas, the ability to generate image instantly adds a whole new dimension to what AI can offer. I'm sorry. This feature also brings Gemini closer in functionality to what ChatGPT has to offer, while keeping the process tightly integrated into Google's ecosystem. But for users new to generative AI or coming from more traditional tools, figuring out how to make the most of this feature might take a bit guidance. To help you with that, I have with me my colleague and our resident DIY expert, Shaurya Shubham. Shaurya, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Abbas.
Now let's start. What is the best way for a beginner to start using Gemini's image generation tool effectively?
So, Gemini has rolled out this new native image editing feature into both the web version as well as the apps. So you can use either of the platforms, or you can download the Gemini app on your smartphone, or use the Gemini.google.com on your web browser to access these new native AI image editing features.
Okay, so how does one go about it? How can you just tell us?
So basically, yes, simply all you have to do is head to Google Play Store, download the Google Gemini app, and install it on your phone. Log in using your Google account. It's simple. Or you can do the same thing on the web. You can head to gemini.google.com on the using any web browser like Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or anything, and you
All
can
right.
simply log in into your Google account and start working with the prompts. So there are four features, native image editing features update that Gemini has received. There are four major improvement that you will see. The first and the most important one is you can now upload your own images and ask Gemini to make certain changes into them. For instance, you can ask it to remove the background or remove an object or even add an object. All right, you can even ask it to blur the background or change some particular things or color or add a hat on your head or something like that. The most important part of this is all of these things can be done in around 45 languages that Gemini now supports. So you can ask it in any language. It is conversational aware now, so you can say that, no, I don't like this, can you please change the sky color to blue. So Gemini will follow those guidelines and make the changes into the image.
All
So
right.
the next important part is image text rendering into the images. So now most of the AI generating tools that are there right now fail to generate text correctly. With the updated image editing features, Gemini can now render images correctly. So, whenever you ask Gemini to add a text, let's say read or warning, the word warning, it will spell it correctly into the images, which is a great step up from what previously Gemini was offering.
Okay. How can users fine tune prompts to get better or more specific image results from Gemini with the new native image generation tool?
So, as I already mentioned, that Gemini can understand conversational prompts, right? So, all you have to do is be real. Whatever you want, just write it down in Gemini. Or there is one very good thing that Gemini can do, and Gemini only can help you out. You just tell your feelings, that whatever you want from Gemini, and ask it to give you a prompt to create the best possible images based on that prompt. Gemini will give you that prompt. Now you can simply use that prompt, paste it into the Gemini, and ask it to create an image for you. That's
Uh,
as simple
is
as
it
that.
can a couple of weeks ago, OpenAI's ChatGPT had that whole Ghibli effect which went quite viral. Can Gemini now
Hmm.
is able to do that effectively? And how different is this from what ChatGPT has to offer? Is it on the same lines? Does it work on the same foundational model? How is it different? Or
So, image AI image generating capabilities are on the same lines, but they use different models for generating the images. Google has its own image generating AI image generating tool, and ChatGPT uses its own version of it. So, but if you look on a wider perspective, both do the same thing. Both Gemini has rolled out all those features that ChatGPT rolled out a couple of weeks ago, including the Ghibli effects. Right, Google was earlier able to convert, do the Ghibli photos, but you were unable to, upload your images and create Ghibli effect. Now you can upload your image and ask it to convert into any different art style and make changes as per your requirement. So yes, both Gemini's new image editing capabilities and ChatGPT's image editing capabilities are on the same lines, but the approach might be different.
all right. It seems like every week there is something new with ChatGPT or Gemini happening. In fact, it looks like every day. Thanks, Shaurya, for joining us and telling us all about new Gemini image generation tool. So that's it for this week's Tech Up. As always, thanks for tuning in. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to Money Control. We'll see you next week. My name is Abhas Sharma. Till then, stay curious, stay kind.